China does not practice free trade. You can't hit our economy that hard. We can hit theirs. Why? The Chinese want to gain control of the South China Sea. We are trying to build an alliance, Quad 4, which would include Japan, Australia, the United States, and India. An alliance between Israel and Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates. We devote attention to NATO. China does not practice free trade. It doesn't have tariffs, but it has any number of mechanisms to block American goods, informal and otherwise. For a very long time, we have been unable to get the Chinese to adjust. It's not in their interest to adjust. They didn't expect us to do it. And we finally did what the Obama administration threatened. It's important because people will dismiss all this, Trump having a heart attack, forgetting that Obama was trying to head this off and failed. And this has had huge consequences on China and relatively little consequences in the United States. Germany exports 50% of its GDP. China, the numbers from China are all over the place, but 25 to 30%. We export 16% of our GDP, about half of that to Canada and Mexico, to our free trade North American partners. We are not vulnerable to trade wars. You can't hit our economy that hard. We can hit theirs. And we've chosen to do that, and that is an obsession now. The Chinese want to gain control of the South China Sea. Why? If you look at the string of islands around the South China Sea, the United States could easily blockade that. And the Chinese are afraid that we would, and who knows, we might. On the other hand, we cannot let the Chinese take those islands because then they can move into the Western Pacific, and we bled for the Western Pacific. World War II and the defeat of the Japanese Navy, Guadalcanal and all of these battles are burnt into our soul. They're not burnt into your soul. Iwo Jima is not something that endless films are made of, but it's ours. And so the option of allowing the Chinese to enter the Western Pacific is not there. We are trying to build an alliance, Quad 4, which would include Japan, Australia, the United States, and India. The Indians practice, they don't want to join, they're dancing around, we know that. This is the alliance structure we care about, because that alliance structure would bring 4 navies to bear, along with the Vietnamese Navy, against the Chinese. So if you ask me, where are the Americans obsessed, as they were in the Cold War? It's the Pacific. What we spent our blood for, and we're not about to give up. We can't invade China, that's out of the question. Won't. And the Chinese can't take us on at sea. So we're in a stalemate with an economic war going on. In the Middle East, the Iranians have expanded to dominate Iraq, dominate Lebanon, have a significant role in Syria, and be operating in Yemen. The United States has helped engineer an alliance between Israel and Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Oman. That's a pretty extraordinary alliance. Can it hold together? Well, Khashoggi's killing didn't help at all. But somebody hit exactly where they had to hit to take that alliance apart. But we are maintaining it. Now, these are the things that the Americans wake up to every day when I do my work. I look at China, I look at Korea, I look at what's going on in Southeast Asia, what's happened in the Middle East. And then I get to Poland and Romania. Because I care about Poland and Romania. Because we have troops in Poland, an Air Force base being built in Transylvania. I know you'd like it back, but that's your problem. And then we'll have take it back and we'll have an air base in Hungary. It's fine. So the basic point that I'm making here, and it's an important one, is we devote attention to NATO, to the degree required, which is not very much. The Europeans speak about their security interests. What security interests? Who's about to attack you? What security interests do you have in mind? We have security interests. Are any of your countries coming to the South China Sea? Are any planning to join the Quad Alliance? Are you deploying special forces in Saudi Arabia? No. NATO is structured to protect Europe. We understand that. But the United States has interests far beyond Europe, to which NATO is inherently irrelevant. So there's an asymmetry in the relationship that we have. And the asymmetry really goes to the fact that NATO is designed to defend Europe,